Continuing coverage, it has been a little less than 2 months since a gunman killed 6 of his co-workers at a Chesapeake Walmart. Investigators say the man legally purchased the gun used in the mass shooting the same day he carried out that attack.
Well, Virginia does not impose a waiting period on gun purchases once you pass a background check. State Delegate Cliff Hayes is introducing legislation for a 3-day waiting period in the Commonwealth.
But others say waiting periods pose a threat to gun rights. Investigator Jessica Larche breaks down the data, the debate, and the psychology behind gun purchase waiting periods in this News 3 investigation.
As the wind weaves its way between balloons and barricaded crosses at the Greenbrier Walmart, memories of a terrifying night last November swirl in the minds of those who survived.
He had the gun pointed at me, and then he pointed up at the ceiling, and he told me, "Jesse, go home."
Jesse Wolcheski's boss was on the other end of that gun, a weapon he legally purchased hours before he took 6 lives.
This was a catastrophe.
State Delegate Cliff Hayes represents this part of Chesapeake in the General Assembly. He says the tragedy has triggered conversations about bringing gun purchase waiting periods to Virginia.
This waiting period thing is something that actually, I believe, could have affected the outcome here.
But over at Bob's gun shop in Norfolk,
gun ownership is a right. And then when you tell somebody, hey, you have to wait 3 days for your right.
Owner Steve Dowdy says while he is saddened by the Walmart shooting,
just sad and just really surprised by it.
He doesn't believe waiting periods would make a difference.
There are going to be people who watch this who agree with you, and there are going to be people who watch this who do not agree.
Welcome to the gun debate.
A 2017 study from the National Academy of Sciences found waiting period laws that delay the purchase of firearms by a few days reduce gun homicides by 17%. The same study found waiting periods also lead to a 7 to 11% reduction in gun suicides per year. Dowdy says he's familiar with the data, but believes there needs to be more before he's convinced.
We deal with, on a daily basis, people that have had stuff happen to them the night before. Their house has been broken into, or, where they're truly in fear for their life, where they've got a situation where they need a firearm. And for somebody to say, hey, you got to wait 3 days to protect yourself, there's another side to that argument.
According to the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, 9 states and the District of Columbia have waiting periods that apply to the purchase of at least some types of firearms, as long as 14 days in Hawaii, as short as 3 days in Illinois.
In human behavior, that explosion is anger, frustration. It could be committing some kind of heinous crime or act against other people. But if I have that moment to get that release, I may act differently.
Dr. Christy Norwood is a clinical psychologist specializing in PTSD. She says waiting periods could make a difference in impulsive gun buyers with dark intentions.
If you think about it like a pressure cooker or like a balloon, if we're able to release that, then that popping sensation doesn't happen, right? Then that explosion doesn't happen.
Someone could be approved to purchase a gun in 20 seconds.
Yeah, obviously you got to fill the form out, but the whole process, could take 30 minutes if it goes pretty quick.
The number of Americans going through that process is soaring. According to data from the FBI's National Instant Criminal Background Check System, there were nearly 8.5 million background checks done in the year 2002. 20 years later, in 2022, there were nearly 32 million. Less than 0.5% are denied, usually because of criminal backgrounds. And deaths by firearms are up too. According to the CDC, firearm homicide rates increased 35% from 2019 to 2020. And last year, 37 people died across Virginia in 20 mass shootings.
Does that trouble you?
Nobody likes gun violence, so does violence trouble me? Absolutely.
Dowdy says his team does deny purchases if they feel the buyer is up to something heinous. He wants a way to alert other gun shop owners about customers they've turned away.
All they have to do is go down to the next store that sells firearms, and maybe we've taught them how not to act, because we denied a sale for whatever reason.
While the divide over waiting periods and gun control remains deep,
We need to do something to begin to deal with these shootings and these situations.
the devastation for victims who've been on the deadly end of a gun remains gut-wrenching.
Mentally, this has been a nightmare. And I know I'm not the only one going through it.
Now, Steve Dowdy also said he'd prefer gun sellers to have access to mental health records of purchasers versus waiting periods, but that, of course, is a violation of medical privacy. Many Democrats I spoke with are in favor of waiting periods, but when I reached out to Governor Glenn Youngkin and the Republican Party of Virginia to get their take, I never got a response. Jessica Larche, News 3.
For more on our other investigations, diving into gun violence solutions, just head to WTKR.com.